And welcome back to Kissimmee, Florida, Austin-Tindall Park. We've made it all the way out of group play. We are in the semifinals, and this, the 1 and 4 seeded teams that remain. The number 1 overall seed and 2-time reigning champion in the gray with the black lettering, Southwestern Christian University. 2-0 wins to advance out of the group stage against Lancaster Bible College and Judson out of Illinois as group winners from Group A, taking on Ottawa University, Arizona, in its first ever NCCAA appearance, making it as the wild card out of Group B after turning out a 2-0 win against Columbia International and then a 2-0 loss against Grace College. But by virtue of away goals, fewer away goals allowed, or fewer goals allowed overall, that the difference. Jamie Campbell already on a break forward for Southwestern Christian University. It's stoned by Nascimento. So the team in orange, Ottawa University of Arizona, out of surprise Arizona, pulled off the surprise. It was a very slim margin indeed to make it, and it took a goal in the final 5 minutes and 15 seconds of regulation between Bethel College and Campbellsville. Bethel College scoring, knocking Campbellsville down to 3 goals allowed, ahead of Ottawa University's 2. The celebrations in the stands from the team in orange were explosive, and it's given the Spirit its opportunity to try and spoil an attempted three-peat for Southwestern Christian University. Southwestern Christian University, to keep in mind, obviously from the opening 2 scorelines, has not allowed a goal here and scored 2 very high-quality goals to beat Judson, both from outside the box. This is a team that knows how to put the ball in the back of the net. We have moved over from the outer fields to the stadium where the final 2 days will be contested. It is quite the setting in Central Florida. The lakes and the trees in behind. Southwestern Christian University, a team that brings an entire squad from outside of the United States. Something Neo Caggles said didn't exactly happen by design, but is something that he embraces, the American head coach. Will it make its way out for a goal kick in the first place? It will. Milos Milovic, who's kept those back-to-back clean sheets, gets his 3rd start of the tournament in a 99 in neon. Forced Chris Bolak and his officiating crew into the yellow for this evening's game. De La O. Level-changing service for George, who was streaky even within one contest. We were able to witness as a crew. Mateus Gouveia, 10 in gray, one of the players marked out by Neil Cagle as a player that can make a real difference. If he plays well, Southwestern Christian University can win. What a move forward from Jackson. Pokes across, had Stojanovic waiting for him. Jackson probing quite a ways from fullback. Now Koziolik wide from the German who scored the goal to break the scoreboard open against Judson right off the beat in the second half. And that perhaps an easier shot than the one he put away. Dangerous moments early for Ottawa University, Arizona. Obviously the significant gap in experience between the two sides, with one making its first ever appearance and the other a 2-time reigning champion. Sobey with room to turn. De La O. It'll be some task for Ottawa University, Arizona to get across the midfield stripe. That will do. Over the top for George. Ferdu Sanchez, enough to put him off. It's a loose touch from Hazim Sobey. And Sobey's bumbled into the back of Mateus Gouveia. Gavea spent significant amount of time against Judson on the ground as well. He's a player used to throwing his body around. Ferdu Sanchez. He's overextended. Connor. Attempt to go down the line. Pop back to Koziolik. Clever play from Verdu Sanchez. Alex De Silva. Has Koziolik keep rolling. Koziolik, Lopez in front of him. On across, Connor heads it down, and Lopez into the breeze. Not nearly as significant as the first couple of days in group play in this tournament. It's a gentle breeze in the far right to the near left of your screen. Only enough.
Foul is called. Southwest Christian University ball.
Chris Bolak explaining what hurt him up here is a new rule. Didn't hear exactly what the new rule was, but he's been in the center for more than a few games already in this tournament. A trusted voice. De Silva, he's offside. It's one-way traffic for Oklahoma or Southwestern Christian University out of Oklahoma so far. You wonder if Uaz will be able to change that at some point, or if it's SCU's day. With only a few counters to find for the Spirit, this foul will open things up. Mateus Gavea, the chance to stand over the ball. You figure this would be too far to shoot. I've been wrong in that prediction before in this tournament. Has De Silva making the short run, but it's cut off. And there's a very clear play on with, could best be described as a gaggle of players right on the outside of the bubble far of the 18. Gavea, he's pumped it. That whole pile of players is running ahead. Koziolik, he got a touch towards goal. There's plenty of work to do to keep him from actually finding the back of the net. McDowell was quick enough. In the tournament overall, 9 teams were brought to Kissimmee. Uaz was the 5th seed of the 9, so qualifying for the semifinals just past expectations. Replacing out of the top 4 seeds, the only one that didn't make it was Campbellsville, the 3 seed. That's Uaz nipped in the wild card race. De La O. Stojanovic has a size advantage on Connor, but the touch was not feathery enough. Strong slide, chance to turn. Ochoa has wheeled it. It's a promising assist out to McDowell, but it ran down a blind alley. De La O is forced into a mistake by De Silva. Opening 9 minutes, passing without consequence, but SCU looks far more threatening. De La O, it's spun wrong off his foot. That will be a corner. Another set-piece chance. Gavea, the man tapped for the duty. Brings it in, swinging foot, completely mishit it. Might have been some sort of play on to get a runner to the near post, but if there was, it did not work. Koziolik. Lanky for a central midfield player, but he's shown up with surprising ball control and foot speed. Stojanovic. Stojanovic just crowded off. Very little possession for who was in the attacking half of the field. That obviously something you'd like to change. But a pass like that from McDowell won't do it. And you're aware of the fact that it will be an uphill battle if you're in orange tonight. Already happy to be in the semifinals. Campbell is one to use his pace. He's been fouled. I saw Campbell get involved in some afters against Judson the last time SCU was on the field. He's a player with a short temper and a long stride. Talking about players that make the difference for SCU, there were three that were marked out. Mateus Gavea, already mentioned. Stojanovic, who's been relatively quiet in the tournament. And Campbell the third. He's still down. The real difference makers. For Uaz, asking the same question. Christian Gennaro off the bench, Mauricio Ochoa, Miguel Acosta. And it said, or Matt Gow said, if Samuel George scores, we'll win. It's that easy. It's the 11 up top. Swung in by Stojanovic. Dangerous ball. Back across. What a save by Nascimento. It sat up beautifully for Jackson. And he struck it well. Nascimento, not only did he get his hands to it,
For Southwestern Christian.
he was able to steer it over the bar. That is pure class for Yuri Nascimento, the junior end swinger. Put back to the corner by De La O. Stojanovic. Toppled. Mateus Gouveia finds a pocket, floats to the back post. Nascimento lets it run. Hazim Sobi flipped it off Jackson, then out of play. So goal kick. A big save from Nascimento. Most likely not the last he will have to make to keep Ottawa University, Arizona in the game. SCU not quite backed up any. Its front wave 25 yards away from goal to keep pressure on. Milovic, who is trying to apply the pressure in kind. Pressure short-lived. The setup and the stakes of the semifinal. Of course, a winner must be crowned to play in the final tomorrow. So the two 10-minute extra time golden goal periods would happen equal after 90, and then penalty kicks. Much maligned or appreciated. Ferdu Sanchez, who's roamed quite a ways inside, down the wing. Campbell wanting Stojanovic. De La O with one option left. And he creates another corner. The Eagles out of Bethany, Oklahoma.
The entry attempt turned aside. Another corner kick coming up for Southwestern Christian.
The in-swinging left foot for Stojanovic has been chosen. Hangs it near the back post again. Nascimento just a punch. Put it clear of the 18. Dumped in by Campbell. Ochoa. Samuel George. Something to chase for Cockley. And he's found the parking lot and almost a van. Cockley exited the last match with a knock. Certainly seems to be moving okay to keep pace with George. Here comes George charging on Milovic, who forgot the ball, Milos Milovic, but he was the first to find it. It seemed something out of nothing. Ruelas was just battling in the air, and it popped right over the back line. Campbell. Played back. Stojanovic! Oh, what a fantastic hit by the Serbian Igor Stojanovic! He's done nothing no more. 1-0 SCU.
Southwestern Christian University goal scored by number 14, Igor Stojanovic.
And another goal from well outside the area for SCU. Really doesn't need to work it into the box. Stojanovic, it was perfectly placed on the near post of Nascimento as a straight-legged hit with the left. th minute, Southwestern Christian University.
Puts Southwestern Christian up 1-0.
As the announcer finishes his afters. Couldn't have been a better start for Southwestern Christian University to produce dominant possession and a goal in the opening 20 minutes. So the longer a team like UAS can hang around, you just saw a half-decent chance for George to try and get onto the end of a ball. The more those moments can become nervous, the more confidence the defense is able to gain. And all evaporating with the shot from Stojanovic.
Number 20, Christian Gennaro, and number 25, Jordan Rocha.
Opportunity for an offensive throw-in. Gennaro has ramped it back. There was no connection. And Mateus Gouveia, who's impossible to undersell in his defensive abilities, now he's made a run down the near side. Surprisingly good defensive player with all of his offensive acumen, Gouveia. And he's on the ball again. De La O matches him. Gennaro was wasteful, trying to go up top for George. Cockley. Gouveia, Verdu Sanchez. Forced all the way back to Nascimento. Bravo. He's got Lopez to try and help him break through the pressure, with the two just knocking it back and forth. Bravo will eventually have to decipher something more than 5 yards up the field. It's been taken away by Mateus Gouveia. Rolling to the corner, Koziolik. Quite the fortunate spin, now looking for Stojanovic, but he's found Alex De Silva. And De Silva hasn't quite found the shot. Didn't even leave play. Now everybody resumes their normal attacking positions for Southwestern Christian University. Milovic. Gouveia, Campbell, look at the pace. And Campbell has made it to a ball before the inline. De La O once again is the far side center half. Made to play it out for a corner. That was testier. Stojanovic looked quite likely to get to it.
Corner kick upcoming.
Stojanovic, the far post again. This time he did find Campbell there. It's the third time Stojanovic has gone to that area.
Will go high and over the net. And Ottawa University takes over.
Kraft from Lopez. Shown promise controlling the ball, trying to dictate. Certainly see the emphasis for Ottawa University to try and move the ball through Lopez from the back line. But he could not. Slip it through to Rocha as SCU packed in neatly. Verdu Sanchez. Lopez again. Start to wear out Mateus Gavea. Has to be offsides, and it is Gennaro. The Italian, Miguel Acosta, almost holding up on the pass for a second, seemingly knowing that Gennaro was not going to be playable. Stojanovic, the size advantage over both the left side defenders for UAS combined, it seems. But he smashed one of them. It's not necessarily a whole team size advantage. Players like De La O certainly bring a lot to the table for UAS in that department. But Stojanovic going up against Bravo and McDowell. That's something that SCU looking to exploit. Ochoa has played it quickly back for De La O. McDowell. He had an idea. Needed something brilliant to escape two defenders. This is fallen kindly. The shot just over the bar of Milovic. Complains from Gavea that he was fouled from behind, but it ended up with three members of the Spirit streaking towards the goal. It was always going high, but it was enough to make Milovic reach for it. And he gave the adjudged touch.
Substitution now for Southwestern Christian, number 19, Kevin Bectus.
Service from Gennaro, slightly disappointing. Connor has it down. Chance to look for George. The chance was missed. There were appeals for handball from Southwestern Christian University, and Stojanovic has fouled Bravo, positioning it went out oversized most times. That the important note. Again, Ottawa will play it short. And the next ball from De La O. Well, it's a tough one to pull off in any circumstance. Koziolik has tucked himself in behind the midfield. Koziolik is on the long run. Stojanovic with a chance to run to this. Forced into action by Nascimento. And the shot ended well wide, but for a moment it looked like it would be quite the shooting chance for Igor Stojanovic.
Just able to knock that one away. Goal kick upcoming for Ottawa.
And Bravo flagged inside the box. Playing the ball, of course, illegal and forced so by SCU's pressure. Want Nascimento to have to play it long or play it short in tight coverage. Who's on to the second ball? Gavea, he just a hopeful knock ahead towards Chim Bectus. And Jackson, it's popped out for Bectus, miscontrolled. Finally, possession is controlled, but I spoke too soon. On to Lopez. Rocha. Samuel George, the one making a run ahead. He does have a chance. That chance difficult with Moritz Kulik just leaning into him. Koziolik wins out the second ball, and SCU back where it started, some 20 yards behind the initial position. Ferdu Sanchez. It's a beautiful triangle for Southwestern Christian University. Just one more Eagle, and there is a member of the Spirit on this side of the field, and it's been used to walk the ball up. But Ferdu Sanchez tried to flip inside for Stojanovic. Allowed Lopez to intercept George. Not the most precise. Now Alex De Silva, he's timed his run well. Perfectly, in fact, kept it in just so Connor could walk in front of him. It's a brilliant touch by George. There's the ability for Lopez. Uses George to pick the possession. Near a turnover for the Spirit. Ochoa lunged in, got the worst of the challenge, and wasn't able to take it away from Gomes. Mateus Gavea. Gavea as Jackson standing in Acres. Into the final 20 minutes of the first half. Stojanovic with the goal. SCU with the possession. Artur Gomes. They sent it over the fence behind the goal. Wasn't a bad shot to take with that kind of space and that kind of time.
Substitution in for Ottawa now. Number 33, Jacob Garcia.
Weighted ball for Stojanovic. It's a good service by Chimbektas, keeping the defense honest, but defense rising to the task. De La O, plenty to do. Back for Milovic to allow some pressure streaming forward for the team in orange. But Ferdu Sanchez, with two fluid movements, has opened it all back up. Gavea, De Silva checking to him. Koziolik, Javier Ferdu Sanchez, it'll sit nicely. Ferdu Sanchez just over the head of Alex De Silva, and Bravo sent it back to Koziolik. Gavea. Gomes. Jackson. It's a decent ball. Over the head of De Silva. On for Connor. Mateus Gavea. Test his luck with plenty of numbers in front of him. He's disappointed with the effort. It wasn't too much lower than Artur Gomes a few minutes prior. SCU would be frustrated with just the one goal given the spell of dominance. Hardly a sniff for Ottawa University, Arizona. It's the two-time reigning champions taking the wild card team to task. Level-headed defending from Cockley and Moritz Kulik. Gavea given free rein to drift about anywhere he sees fit. Javier Verdu Sanchez. De Silva. Just picked the wrong pass with Stojanovic coming towards the near post. And no secondary run from Chim Bektis. Rocha. Oh, that looked like it could have broken everything open. With Gennaro streaming down the left wing. If only it wasn't for Moritz Kulik. That's the idea. It only needs one moment. Ottawa University to take back level pegging. Jackson. Gavea. And Gavea is another precise switch to the near side. Verdu Sanchez. Kulik. Bektis. Out for Jackson. The fullbacks and Verdu Sanchez and Jackson virtually a part of the midfield, it seems. Gavea, they kept it in. Has been a good flow to this match. Minimal stoppage. Gavea. SCU enjoying the possession. Gomes. That skipped away from him. Uncomfortable for Connor. And down the line. Rocha. Hamstrung by Koziolik. Gomes. This time we'll pass it once to Silva. Flag is up. The official, Chris Bolak, will acknowledge it from Jonathan Quinter, and the offside's given. That the reprieve for Uaz.
Foul on the play. Ball to Ottawa.
A quick turnover out of the midfield, too cheaply given. Alex De Silva. It's a good run. Does he have the final ball? Knocked down to the middle, but Lopez was the first to react. Chim Bektis arriving just a tad late to take advantage. And Verdu Sanchez, if he can take it quickly, has Koziolik unencumbered. Verdu Sanchez, through the legs. And then the run to the corner for Javier Verdu Sanchez. Bravo, he just can't seem to find a way out. De La O has dropped it in wonderfully for Rocha. McDowell in recovery. Again, we must have a winner. The loser tonight will have its season ended in the semifinals of the NCCAAs. Southwestern Christian University has looked very capable. And Uaz, though, does look like it could have a goal in it. McDowell, George, has been the main catalyst. Lost the ball that time. And Cockley was there for a second time just to make sure. De La O, they get lost in the night sky. Ochoa. Garcia, flag up.
Offside is the call. Ball back now to Southwestern Christian.
Playing by the power of lights only now in Kissimmee as the cold snap that is hampered the last few days and brought out the blankets and woolies has left to a beautiful 65-degree evening. Dropped over the top of Connor. That's beautiful from Verdu Sanchez. De Silva towards the back post. It settles. Stojanovic in. And 2 for Southwestern Christian. 2 for Igor Stojanovic. Javier Verdu Sanchez working with Alex De Silva to create the opportunity. And this time the ball was precise and Stojanovic had slipped his mark.
Goal scored by number 14, Stojanovic.
Nascimento beaten on his near post, but tough when you're coming across the mouth of the goal.
Ottawa. It'll be number 7, Ricardo Navarro, and number 29, Levi Roby.
The one, it's easy to convince yourself you can fight your way right back into the game, but to concede with 10:35 to play in the half, to go down a pair, is a very bitter pill to swallow for Ottawa University, Arizona. That'll dampen the spirits slightly into the halftime. It's a long road back indeed for the Spirit against a team that has not conceded the entire tournament in Southwestern Christian. Stojanovic the difference, but the classy build-up really shouldn't be overlooked. On that second goal, Jackson. Advantage being played. Bectus. Healed away by Rocha. Down the line, Roby. He's given himself a chance. And fouled Moritz Kulik after a significant amount of jostling. Stojanovic now 1 goal from 20, 19 in 20 matches for Igor. After the brace, he's now hunting for a hat trick. Milovic pulled it away from Verdu Sanchez. Skipped out past De La O. Milovic, second time in a matter of moments, misfiring towards Verdu Sanchez. Offside again, Gennaro. I wonder how he found so much space. Or it has been very precious for Uaz through the first 35 minutes. Rocha and De Silva. Rocha's come away the better. Nascimento. And Bectus of the opinion McDowell fouled him. Uaz working quickly. Lopez, Navarro, that's better. Testy for Cockley, but he's done incredibly well. And Stojanovic headed the other direction. Nascimento off his line. Caught out of position, Nascimento, with the quick change of the ball. Stojanovic had to take it immediately to try and capitalize, needed to catch it perfectly, or to a different part of the goal, surely, than where it went. Handball on Gennaro. Chris Bolak will have a conversation with the Italian. He's not short on expressions. 7-10 in the first half. 2-0 Southwestern Christian, the 1 seed of the wild card 5 seed qualifying for the semifinals. Gavea. Javier Verdu Sanchez. And both of these teams have been afforded a day's rest. Not playing yesterday as the women wrapped up their group play. So it should be fresher, longer as we go down. De Silva. Oh, De Silva's around Connor, and he's able to bring it back to his stronger right. On for Archer Gomes. Draws the foul. Was thinking about a shot initially, but Garcia came in onto the right foot as Gomes tried to step around him. And this will be a very dangerous position for Nascimento and company.
Foul on the play, and the free kick coming up to Southwestern Christian.
I wonder if Stojanovic is going to have the bargaining chip to go for the hat trick. Chembektas, not someone tucked off this situation easily. Gavea's already departed. He's always in the conversation to begin with. Alex De Silva is also lingering. Bektas, right to Nascimento. Didn't move his feet. It wasn't a bad shot, but Nascimento did not cheat at all. If he had, it would have been something really on. But Nascimento, he's made a brilliant save earlier in the first half as well. Certainly not to blame for a 2-0 deficit on the UAS side. 5.5 left in the first. Gavea. Jackson. Navarro, just sucked in by Verdu Sanchez. Gomes. And Gomes immediately had his idea. He wanted Javier Verdu Sanchez, and Verdu Sanchez has turned around and said, well, I'm not going that far up the field. Connor has had a lot to do as the right back for Ottawa University, Arizona. Rocha, De La O. De La O shifting up the field with one of the most recent UAS changes. Chase Castro is now alongside Bravo in the back four. Connor on the right, McDowell on the left. That holds true. Bravo is forced to turn for Nascimento, and you hear SCU orchestrate its pressure. Trying to keep it in one half of the field, but Stojanovic keeping Nascimento from switching. It's tactically astute and forces the direct ball, which SCU has been dominating. Milovic. Verdu Sanchez, you cannot take a better touch. You can, however, make a better pass. Verdu Sanchez did score a tremendous goal. A Galazzo, if my accent would allow it. The second goal for SCU. In a span of 5 minutes in the win over Judson, it was a volley from right on the edge of the area at an angle. It just came off sweetly into the back of the net. And a heart for the camera to boot for Verdu Sanchez. Gavea tried to draw the foul, and there was some contact, but Chris Bolak saying he'd gone down too easily there. Navarro's picked a decent ball, flares past Roby. Jackson. Just away from Chembektas. A meager 2:30 left to play in the first half. It's been all SCU. 1.5 nervous moments, shall we say, for Milos Milovic. Outside of that, it's been Nascimento facing most of the pressure between the two keepers. Jackson straight out of play. McDowell. Just not room to maneuver. daring Uaz to be able to switch the ball from one side of the field to the other. And outside of Lopez, haven't really seen too many attempt it. Just packing the midfield into one half. Castro adding an extra midfielder with his run ahead, but couldn't connect with De La O. Moritz Kulik is forced to clear it. It is better stuff now. Uaz is getting some push forward with 90 seconds. There's Castro attempting the switch, and it's not come off. Koziolik tried to bring it down with his face, and that's not the easiest touch. Worth a shot. De La O, is it onside? It is not. Navarro's trying to sneak through. I think he was a step early on his run, but it was an accurate pass from De La O and a run overall to provide some heart for Ottawa University, Arizona.
Offside, and the ball back to Southwestern Christian.
Koziolik. Is there another chance in these final 12 seconds? Doesn't seem that way with the pass back for Cockley. We will get a nice countdown.
6, 5, 4, 3.
Verdu Sanchez does the honors to take SCU's 2-0 lead to halftime. We'll be back for the second half of our first men's semifinal. You're watching the NCCAA Men's Division I Soccer Championships. "45 more minutes to pick one of our two finalists for the NCCAA Men's Division I Soccer Championships. Have gone from 9 teams to 4, and after this match is done, there will only be 3 with their seasons still alive. And right now it's Southwestern Christian University looking far likelier to be alive at the end of this, with Ottawa University, Arizona, fresh off of their wild card appearance and drama, to make it into the semifinals as the 5 seed of the tournament, in serious trouble. A 2-0, a pair of goals for Igor Stojanovic, and more than a fair reflection of the full run of play we've seen thus far. Ottawa University needs to find a way to break through some of the high pressure it has received, and the inability to play an incredibly direct game has hampered Uaz, certainly. Govea, quick turn. There's a heck of a run coming from Chim Bektas. Will it be found? It will. Bektas back to Stojanovic, all with skill. The passes just did not fall into place on that move. Opportunity like that will not go begging too many times with SCU. Bektas waits it into the corner, taking a deflection, and will be a corner. Castro with the closing speed.
Kick upcoming for Southwestern Christian.
in swinging foot picked. The players have lined up right at the penalty spot. What play is on? Taken back towards the penalty spot. It wasn't particularly precise, and then the following shot, well wide of everything.
Shot will go high and over the bar. Ball back to Ottawa.
McDowell. Jackson. Gavea. Gavea and De Silva have connected all over the field. SCU going left to right in the second half with Uaz right to left. In the orange, the Spirit. Mateus Gavea. Two-time reigning champions trying to put a grip on it. De Silva cuts to his right foot, drags across, stabbed the way out for Jackson. His shot needed blocking from Connor. It was headed right for the bottom corner, slotted there. And Uaz will dodge the first bullet of the second half. Need a couple of things to go its way. There's a couple of opportunities like that will manifest with the quality that SCU has going forward. Uaz needs to be able to keep those out of the back of the net and find a way to score one goal to put serious pressure on SCU. Make him feel it a little bit. Castro stepping into it. This is nice for George. George is there, but so is Milos Milovic. With a hand to settle the team. Ball bounced up a little too high for George to be able to take it towards goal. Cockley. Foul given by Chris Bolak with an arm extended to his left. Happened right in front of the Uaz bench. Appeals for yellow. George. On to one shot. McDowell. McDowell was swept out by Stojanovic. 14 on 14. Seen again by the overseer.
Foul on the play, and the ball stays with Ottawa.
McDowell, can he win the one-on-one against De Silva as the shell has been erected? Lopez wanted to go through for Ochoa. Trying to pass Ochoa into the run. Mateus Gavea has been fouled rather hard by Lopez. He's gone down in a heap, and Lopez given a yellow. He came in stern and late. Sophomore out of California. Certainly be on thin ice now if he gets into another challenge quite like that one. After a moment that could test the patience of both benches, we resume the play at 38-45 in the half. De Silva. Timely on McDowell. And McDowell, it's quite the throw for Navarro. That's really nice defending from Callum Cockley. He's unlucky to concede the corner, but Uaz would be wise to try and take every advantage here. Hustling up quickly, Ochoa towards the back post, taken down by Connor. That was Castro. And Castro, he's trying to just volley it straight towards the net.
Out of bounds, and the ball will go back over to Southwestern Christian.
Strange scenario where he caught all the ball. It was just inaccurate for Castro. It was a wind sprint up for the center halves. The quick take of the corner, all part of the plan for Uaz. It's hit the back of the head of Navarro. Cockley saw the whole play developing. Was able to stifle it. There's a quick break on the other direction. Bektas has laid Koziolik to the corner. Koziolik to Bektas. Packed Uaz in just for a smidge before Connor closed him down, and Bektas was weighing his options. Some appeal from the SCU bench on that play for a corner, and that appeal will be exacerbated by the foul in the midfield. McDowell in acres of space. Cuts in from his left back position. Keeps the run going. Sobey, chance to turn. Samuel George is better from Uaz across. Oh my! Rousing applause for the Spirit.
And a good ball put through there by number 11 Samuel George. The attempt will trickle just wide. And corner kick upcoming now for Ottawa.
Corner will be slowed by some discussion in the middle. It's Callum Cockley who's actually stayed down and has requested the trainer. There was some argument from SCU about whether the corner was awarded or why the corner was awarded. Obviously, the judgment, SCU touched it last, but it seemed Ruelas right off the doorstep. It was quite the move forward. The best look Uaz has been able to muster, and one that really could have pulled a goal back for the Spirit. How we talked about Cockley picking up the injury in the last match, and well, that seems to come back to bite him. The energy is back for Ottawa University, Arizona. It needed to make a return after a fairly deflating first half. Stojanovic and Castro now getting into it.
Substitution coming in now for Southwestern Christian. It'll be number 18, Manu Belmonte, onto the pitch.
Belmonte, the replacement. The corner taken. Towards McDowell. He measures it towards the box. Room to stride for Stojanovic. Mateus Gouveia. Alex De Silva, it's bounced towards Nascimento. Throw from Nascimento. Wanted to start something quickly, but needed more precision for Acosta. Koscielny. Tad heavy. Right to Nascimento again. Decides to throw it shorter. Castro. Selby. Ball zipping around McDowell. McDowell with the quick steps. Lopez. Hazim Selby again. Where might Ochoa be looking? Who has been able to pass its way across the midway line, but Castro, he wasn't put in the finest position. Splendid effort to get that far up the field through a couple of defenders, and now there's tugging and jostling back and forth. And possession rightly awarded by Chris Bolak via free kick to SCU. The Eagles out of Oklahoma certainly be looking to settle things down after a burst of frantic energy from Uaz. Uaz will want to keep that frantic energy going just as long as possible. Try and make them think about it. We have a whistle for a player down. It's Gouveia, who's returned to the deck. Of course, the victim of a particularly hefty challenge. Really right on the on. That's colored this whole second half, the challenge from Lopez to Gouveia. And Gouveia will limp his way off after initially recovering.
Number 10, Mateus Gouveia, the injured Southwestern Christian Eagle. He goes in the sideline substitution now for the Eagles. That'll be number 21, Ignacio Aloha.
Nacho Uloa will come in as a replacement for Gouveia, but obviously Gouveia leaving the field. Nacho Uloa played a significant amount of time already in this tournament before reaching the semifinals. Is not going to be able to replicate everything the number 10 would. Stojanovic ready for the challenge with Bravo, and Stojanovic fouled him. He might have a case there. Bravo coming into his back, but Bravo drawing the foul as it was, sticking the legs out, able to twirl. Lopez. Bektas. Disappointed with the pass before it even got close to Stojanovic. Bravo. And back for Nascimento. Stepped off to give himself as much space as possible. Castro. Selby. It's McDowell who's provided the width and given who has the chance to get forward. And McDowell's cross. Just not enough supporting runners Moritz Kulik and Samuel George canceling each other out. Milovic will wait as long as he can before being forced into collection. Quick turn by Hazim Sobi, and it right into Artur Gomes. Milovic has it caught in his feet. There's plenty to do for Milovic. He gave it to himself. De Silva sweeps in behind. McDowell out for a corner.
Knocked out of bounds. Corner kick upcoming for Ottawa. Substitution now for Ottawa. Number 33, Jacob Garcia, returns to the pitch.
Corner taken. Just short of everybody making the runs. There was a stagnant scene in the box. Stojanovic twirling twice. Second time was the one. Nacho Ulloa. Koziolik has kept it moving, and there are gray shirts streaming towards the box. But Bravo not only pulls the interception, but by the next man as well to start a counter. Ochoa called to leave it. Ochoa. Hazim Sobi. It's a good turn looking for George. Jackson out. It's another corner for Ottawa University, Arizona. It has been a much better second half for Ottawa University, Arizona. There's been some feeling of back and forth, some chances created.
Ottawa substitution. Back to the pitch, number 9, Giovanni Ruelas.
Taken on an outswinger and sent back where it came from by Moritz Kulik. Chris Bolak's issued a yellow card that's drawn some truly remarkable protests from Igor Stojanovic. Could hear him saying that he didn't say a word, and now Bolak's going to get some help on the near side from the assistant official. Stojanovic perhaps wrongly carded by Bolak, as he's not a player that's been overly animated. And after the conversation with the assistant referee, that's good officiating. The card will be issued to McDowell for whatever was said, and Stojanovic will be cleared of his woes. This is a number 14, but in the other shirt, something was said behind Chris Bolak, the official, that he took serious exception to, and it was McDowell. Ball is in. Ochoa spilled, and that will be a free kick. Alex De Silva, he got caught in Ochoa's legs just a tad.
Foul on the play, and the ball stays with Ottawa.
He will be given the opportunity to take this one because it's at an angle where something of a shot cross could be interesting, where you want to try and put the ball right on the back post and allow for any touch before that to also direct it in. Ochoa, who just took the knock. The wall issued. Set by Milovic. 3 players in front of Ochoa. He's gone to the top of the box. Navarro, settled, shot. And now the run in the other direction. Stojanovic. He kept it in and then put it off McDowell. Gavea. The newly minted yellow card for McDowell. He has been dynamic getting forward for the Spirit. McDowell. Castro weighted to the corner. George. It's a 50-50 with Kulik. Swept away back from Milovic. He'll play it with his right foot right towards the Ottawa University bench. On 27-25, the match has settled in pace, and that not the best scenario for the Spirit, needing to create an absolute mess to try and score not the first, but the first two goals against Southwestern Christian in this tournament. Looked very capable of doing so. One very clear chance to add a goal to the resume, but it hasn't come. Nacho Uloy didn't have the pace to complete his move and then fouled Garcia rather sternly. And that's going to be a card for Nacho Uloy.
Yellow card has been issued to number 21 for Southwestern Christian, Ignacio Aloa.
De La O. Gavea, who's returned to the field. Went for Koziolik, wanted to go back to Gavea. Might have been wiser with Stojanovic breaking ahead. Chance to run again. It's almost snuck through. Nacho Uloy. But De Silva backs it up. Stojanovic with the turn. Koziolik. Faced by Castro. Weighted ball. Stojanovic there! Was it touched? It was not. Goal kick. Stojanovic appealing heavily for a slight save by Nascimento.
And the attempt from Stojanovic trickled just wide. Ball back over to Ottawa. Southwestern Christian substitution now. Number 11, Jamie Campbell, into the match.
From the Austin-Tindall Sports Complex in Kissimmee, Florida, the drama has slowed slightly, but the stage is set. These two teams earning their way out of the groups and playing for a spot in the finals, which would be contested tomorrow evening. Only one team will be there. There are 4 teams left that can win the NCCAA trophy. And SCU searching for third in 3 years.
Ottawa substitution number 20, Christian Gennaro, Southwestern Christian substitution number 16, Juan.
Two teams throwing in their changes as Gennaro and Pebbicini coming on for SCU and the Nuaz respectively. Gavea. De La O. Garcia. Got SCU pretty deep here. Tuck going to ground to draw the call for Javier Verdu Sanchez.
Foul on the play, gives the ball now to Southwestern Christian.
Really a full assessment of this second half would have to be classified as a push. The first two goals of the match for SCU, both in the first half, and that was a dominant display. But Ottawa University, Arizona, perhaps a little bit of both, turning up its level of play and SCU drawing on complacency. But arguably the better opportunities to score have been with the Spirit to surprise Arizona. Gavea. Thought he was fouled again by Gennaro. Alex De Silva. That was devilishly crafty. Cheeky stuff from De Silva. Gavea. Part of the Brazilian tandem that has been so explosive. Gennaro has Navarro on side. That's a heck of a first touch and a second as well for Navarro. He's weighted it through. Is there a chance to shoot? There is. Wide of the goal for Milovic, but another decent look for Ottawa University, Arizona.
Just wide for Ottawa.
Garcia galloping forward. Navarro's hold-up play was brilliant. Scooped away wastefully by Koziolik. De Silva knew the moment it left the foot of the German. Gennaro immediately engulfed by Mateus Gavea. He slipped to the inside of the field. There's plenty of space. He's dropped Stojanovic with the left foot. That's Jamie Campbell, fresh off the bench as well, Campbell. It's dynamite in the first half. Gavea missed out. Campbell quick in recovery. It turned Garcia back. Castro. De La O. Weighty delivery. It was too direct for McDowell. Wanted it farther out to the wing. De Silva has plenty to do if he wants to shield the ball, but he will. Navarro fouled him. That ball I do not think would have gone out for a goal kick had there not been a foul. It was not the right choice for Alex De Silva. When he arrived on the scene, very well could have turned and had it. Milovic back to the appropriate position. To a crowd. Ruelas has been given the yellow, and that'll draw a protest. Crashed into Artur Gomes. Behind the play, Milos Milovic, after taking the kick, has stayed down. On a curious side note, and he might have tweaked something in the delivery of the kick. He's now gone back down to his bag. He's been the number one in a manner of speaking, the number 99 in truth, but the lead goalkeeper for SCU the whole tournament, Dev Bamra, is the backup. He wears the number one, and he might just well be coming in. Another opportunity to potentially exploit for Ottawa University, Arizona. The green goalkeeper donning the jersey to boot in the game. Milovic with a considerable limp. Where he stops will be telling of whether he will be able to continue.
Back on his feet.
But Bamra will enter the game. Milovic has been the starter in the tournament, but Bamra
Place new keeper now for Southwestern Christian. That'll be number 1, Dev Bamra.
Milovic none too pleased that he's being removed from the match despite the injury. And you might understand why more when you look at the tail of the tape, because I was saying Bamra has more experience. Well, Bamra's started just as many games as Milos Milovic this season. It's 12 games all started for Bamra. Or Milovic came into the tournament with just 9 started, so it's a real goalkeeper back and forth between Bamra and Milovic, despite that noticeable limp, who didn't want to cede the opportunity. Bamra, the Englishman, has the chance, but fortunately for SCU, it's a goalkeeper that is certainly not new to the field of play this season. De Silva. Throws set for Ottawa University, Arizona. Inside the final 20 minutes, the Spirit in desperate need of one goal.
Number 7, Damjan.
And, of course, the other. But
And for Ottawa, number 19, Devin Fuentes.
Damjan Koich in the game for the first time for SCU. It's also the first appearance for Devin Fuentes in the contest. That for OUAZ. Ruelas twirling and came through the back of Mateus Gouveia. And the sportsmanship necessary. Clock will be stopped as Bamra is going to come all the way up to play the ball. Bodied well by Campbell. Campbell is toppled Bravo. He fouled him.
Foul was called, and the ball back over to Ottawa.
And Campbell, who rarely encounters a call he agrees with. That's for certain. Polak unhappy with that restart's allowed SCU to kick pressure up a notch as well. Last hit to Silva. Jackson will be the last aware of it. Navarro. And Bamra in no hurry. Has changed the field, but where will the Spirit find an opening? It seems as though, especially in the waning moments this second half, or the recent few minutes, has been able to lean more and more against SCU. The runs through the midfield have been much easier to come by, the passing much sharper. The ability to break through, and SCU's defense has also dropped a bit. Its line retreating more from the midfield. Over the top, an easy one for Bamra, and the new keeper is certainly getting plenty of touches to settle the nerve. Ruelas. It's cut by Garcia. Ottawa University, Arizona, able to break its way across the halfway line, but it's the next pass seemingly after that that's the issue. This is pop free for Garcia. Ruelas cutting to his right foot with a clear intention to lay this one back. He has. Fuentes blocked out by Jackson for a corner. It's an incisive run by Fuentes. The defense did not pick up the move in time, and Ottawa University has 15 minutes to produce 2 goals. Making 2 more changes, the Spirit, a team that's seemingly always likely to use all of the depth available. Ochoa and George returning, 2 starting players marked as very clear and very key to Ottawa's success. Roby in as well. Fabulous blonde hair, making him easy to pick out. But it's hard to say there's any team that can match the like-for-like depth that Ottawa is able to produce at this NCCAA's. Bending ball. It's easy enough for the defense to keep away, and it will be a goal kick. Just seen an absolute tidal wave of changes being made. Pebicini, who came in earlier in the half, is now out for Anselmi, the Uruguayan. It's Anselmi's first appearance in the match. Bamra. He hooked it straight out of play. Quick turn. Artur Gomes, Campbell, Anselmi. Gouveia. Gomes had to make the challenge once he got in, as Ochoa was about ready to try and break the counter open. Campbell whipped across with pace. Nascimento, I don't believe he brandished a touch.
Crossing attempt for the Eagles will go out of bounds. And off the touch, the ball will remain with Southwestern Christian.
It was touched up by Nascimento. Whipped across. Campbell, the likeliest target. Castro first to it. Fuentes, George is checked way back. Trying to give his team a chance. Navarro flipped around by Jackson. It's dire time now for Ottawa University, Arizona. 2 goals conceded in the first half. Still sitting for the wild card in the semifinals. The number 1 overall seed and winner of Group A. Close to flipping on cruise control to try and see the rest out. De La O went for a bit of skill to try and open space. Now it's Campbell roaming in behind the advanced right half of the back line. He's wisely in no hurry. Gavea. Gomes. Boy, there's space for Alex De Silva. Fuentes. The unenviable task of closing down across. Castro trying to settle. Down for Mateus Gavea. He's brought it to his right foot. Whipped to Anselmi. Out for Alex De Silva. Creating movement with Anselmi. Anselmi being pushed out by Connor. De Silva has gone back for Anselmi, who will get there. Anselmi just before Connor. Appeal for handball. A corner is awarded instead.
Ball out of bounds. Corner kick upcoming for Southwestern Christian.
Damjan Koich as an outswinger. Flagged and offsides, I believe, is the official call.
Substitutions now for Ottawa. It'll be number 14, Kyle McDowell, and number 22, Hazim Sobi.
Interesting collision that saw Connor really flipping over the top of his counterpart, Mateus Gavea. Both teams wanted the foul, but of course only one team could get it. It was Ottawa University, Arizona. Probably rightfully so, but I'm in possession of one of the worst points of view for that challenge. Roby's timed his run brilliantly, but he's cut off by Javier Verdu Sanchez. Alex De Silva with a spinning clearance. Castro. De La O. Moritz Kulik. Ready. Campbell's knotted it down for Mateus Gavea. And the counter fizzles quickly. Castro back and in position. Ochoa stepped through one, been put off by Damjan Koich. Ball has stayed in play, but it wasn't long coming to SCU. And a foul will be had to Navarro.
Foul on the play. Ball will stay with Southwestern Christian.
Just the 9 minutes left to settle the final result of our opening semifinal contest. It's Southwestern Christian University out of Oklahoma with 2 first-half goals up on Ottawa University, Arizona. The 5th seed into the tournament, the team in orange. Outdone expectations of that seeding to make the semifinals. Finishing second in Group B, the only of the 3 second-place teams to go, and it went all the way down to goals against. Kulik up to Bravo. SCU's making no mistake with its clearances. The intent is just to get the ball out as quickly as possible, and then Gavea and Campbell are trying to work to bring it down. And OUAZ is able to make quick plays forward like this. It's bounced out to McDowell. It'll run away from him. A corner. The result for the Spirit with 7:45 left. Will there be something to make this intriguing right to the end? Hazim Solby, it's in a crowd. The crowd mostly gray shirts. Out for Navarro, back in. Bumrah. He'll be in no hurry to rise. He's delivered the throw for Verdu Sanchez. Trying to do the same for Campbell. Campbell in ahead of Castro. And the foul will be given just outside the area where the contact was initiated, as Campbell found himself in behind Castro. And in that situation, that's probably a wise foul and maybe fortunate to avoid the penalty, but I have to agree with the placement as the fouling started outside the box. Allow Nascimento a fair shot at this set piece, a 6:42, and there will be no hurry for the Eagles. Campbell has seemed determined all along to take the shot. Has it. Nascimento got up into his knees, but he was well behind to make the save. Ottawa University, Arizona needs it quickly. George. Kept away, McDowell. Great skill from McDowell. Ottawa University, Arizona. It's a well-marshaled back now for SCU, knowing what's at stake. Hazim Solby. Able to skip through one line, Solby. George wanted Solby for another. There was a foul in that before Solby came in on De Silva. Brought back to the spot by Chris Bolak. Taken quickly, Ochoa. Waited around to McDowell. McDowell, dangerous ball, headed wide. And it was a chance for De La O. On 5 minutes left. Ottawa University, Arizona with a lot to take from the second half, but not yet a goal.
Trio of subs now entering the game for Ottawa. Number 8, Ramson Larios. Number 10, David Lopez. And number 25, Jordan Rocha.
Quick substitutions, the last perhaps feasible for Ottawa University, Arizona. Campbell has taken Bravo on, looked across. It was hopeful that Belmonte or Anselmi would break free. Hopped right over Gomes for George. George cut to the inside. He's conceded it to Gomes and committed the foul.
Foul on the play. Ball to Southwestern Christian.
Clock could be stopped at 4:04. Bumrah. Now with no particular reason to slow down the cadence, just sends it along out by Bravo. Gavea. Verdu Sanchez slipped ahead from the left back position to plenty of space on the switch. Gavea got the touch right. Might have put Ottawa University in if he hadn't, and then is fouled as the time evaporates for the Spirit.
Play ball will stay with Southwestern Christian.
Quick into the box, back in front. It was Anselmi that had the chance. Nascimento. There are 3 minutes. McDowell. stifled by De Silva, but he could not keep it in. Sobey. Castro, George. Almost left it for McDowell. Now he's dragged it for McDowell. Just put a dangerous ball in a few moments ago. Bomra came for it. Didn't close down, pinging around the box. Ottawa University, Arizona, trying to create those types of moments. Need something absolutely bizarre now. Two first-half goals, both from Igor Stojanovic. Very different flavors to them. One an individual effort from 24 out. The other on an excellent bit of play from Verdu Sanchez and Alex De Silva that laid across right to the foot of Stojanovic. And all he needed to provide was the finish from some shorter distance. Those do seem to be the difference now into the final 2 minutes as the fate of both these teams becoming apparent. It was quite the way to start the NCCAA tournament history for Ottawa University, Arizona. First ever appearance and straight to the semifinals as the wild card, number 5 seed in the tournament overall, but Southwestern Christian University with consecutive titles in this event, searching for a third straight, and will most likely be the favorite in the final tomorrow. With 80 seconds left to end, goal kick awarded. And Nascimento is going to make it move quickly.
1 minute to play, 1 minute in the match.
George, it was flagged out. McDowell lost it. It's run through Jackson. George, he has plenty of speed. Bomra with composure. Gavea. And the final 13 seconds will pass without incident. Verdu Sanchez to waste as much time as he can. Campbell brings it to the corner. Southwestern Christian University is headed to the final. One match left to try and defend its title and go for the three-peat. An excellent first tournament for Ottawa University, Arizona, for qualifying for the semifinals. 2-0, a couple of goals for Igor Stojanovic. Will be back with match 2, which will pit Grace against Bethel to determine